Hey guys, welcome back to another vlog. My name is Ted and this is Ted's Vlogs. And today I wanted to talk about a commonly complained about subject here in the Philippines amongst expats, which is the foreigner tax. So let's get into it. So today I decided to drop by my neighborhood mosque to film this because it's a quieter area, more peaceful. The sun has been in and out today. It's kind of overcast. Every time I move over slightly that way, it actually gets a lot sunnier, so then I have to move back over here with a little bit of a canopy over my head, so I apologize for the shade if it makes the video strange or anything like that. But to get into what we were talking about, you'll find online, especially on YouTube, on Reddit, and in other areas throughout the internet, that when expats get together, especially expats here in the Philippines, and also I think in Southeast Asia, they complain about something called the foreigner tax. Now, the foreigner tax is not like a real tax. It's not a tax that the government implements here in the Philippines, that is. But it's in reference to when a local person sees that you're foreign, they are, motivated in one way or another to increase the prices of whatever products they have. Now, I've heard this from vloggers that I follow who I actually really respect, that when they would go to get their vehicle serviced, even if the price was written like on the wall, they would bump it up by 10 pesos, 20 pesos or something like this. I find that remarkable, and in a bad way, and I am not a fan of that at all. In general, I haven't had that experience very often. I have had it sometimes, but it's so infrequent here that when it happens, I even ask my wife, I'm like, hey, did the price just go up for us? Is that something special for us? But one thing I think, first of all, that foreigners like myself and especially need to keep in mind is that business people, especially if there's no price written on a product, they will try to do that to anyone that they can if that's their, their disposition. So for example, like if you come into an area and you're on foot and you're looking for groceries or you're looking for something to pick up from a side store, usually the things that I'm talking about in this case are like roadside groceries, roadside snacks, or things like that. If you come in on foot or if you come in via Piaggio, like these little tuk-tuk vehicles, or if you come in via a motorbike, you're going to, if you're local, you're going to receive one price. But I wouldn't be surprised that if the same people who increase prices for foreigners are also doing it for the same people who arrive to the same stores driving a larger vehicle of whatever kind. So there could be like a Fortuner or a Raptor or something like this. If you arrive in that, don't be surprised that if you don't know the price yourself already, that they might hike the price up for you. And likewise, if you're somebody that sticks out like a sore thumb like me in the southern Philippines, I shouldn't be surprised if the prices are raised as well if I don't know what I'm dealing with, if I don't know the common prices. Now, some of these can be major hikes, and I've heard that from other people, and I've seen that even done for my wife because we arrive in a vehicle, so the price will be higher for her than it will be for other people. But you need to know exactly, as best as you can, what the local prices are. And you can do that through word of mouth. If you're here on a vacation, it's much tougher, right? Unless you have a local friend who's hosting you or a stay-in family, something like that. But if you're here long term, like if you retired here, or if you are an expat who's a digital nomad, if you are a Muslim traveler, a muhajir, like that, then, or a settler, I guess, you need to know the local price. So for example, there are basic things that are out there that you should know the prices of. And prices can vary, but you need to know the ballpark range of things. So for example, like a small piece of bread from the bakery, it's 5 pesos. And it's 5 pesos for all of them. So if somebody charges you 7 or whatever, you know that there's an issue, right? Even if it's a little bit, you know that that's a bit of an issue, especially if you're being paid in local wages. I don't believe in paying a foreigner tax. I like to pay the regular price, and if the services are great, I will become like a lifetime customer. And I feel like that's quite valuable to any business. Having lifetime customers is valuable to any business, right, guys? So like I don't think I'm alone in that. Bread is 5 pesos. You should learn the price of eggs every little thing that you purchase, you should kind of, over a period of time, develop an understanding of how much it should cost. We did get the foreigner tax one time close to my daughter's school, and it was from someone who was elderly, and it was actually to buy a soft drink. So the soft drink on the sign said 20, and then the lady who was the cashier wanted to charge us 20, but then the elderly mother, who I think maybe owned the store or managed it, she said, no, it's 25. And we were tired. It was sunny. We wanted shelter more than anything because it was so sunny. We walked, and then we walked when it was overcast, and then it became sunny. So we just felt like, or at least I just felt like I wanted to sit down and just take a load off and enjoy like a soft drink. And it's irritating. It's 5 pesos only, so I dealt with that. It's kind of, I felt like it's like a fee that I'll pay for sitting here, I guess. But later on, we did go back there and we asked, like, is it 20 or 25? Because your sign says 20, so I clarified. I didn't want to have an issue when I'm tired the first time I was there, and they clarified, yeah, it's only 20. So from there on out, we paid 20, and that never happened again. Because then it's like a one-time thing, right? In general, you find people that take advantage of this too, because the prices can increase drastically the closer you get to town. So it's just about, guys, it's just about knowing the prices for things. I remember one brother wanted us to help him out by buying like a set of his bananas, and we did, but he like really overcharged us. And we knew it, but because he was in a bad situation, we just felt like this, like we will pay 30 pesos for the bananas because we know that they cost 30 to 35, and the rest of it will be in charity because we don't want to have ill will towards that person. But we're not going to pay for that again because like he's like, can you just help me out with these bananas? We're like, okay, we'll buy your bananas. And then when it came to like how much does it cost, you feel like I already said yes to this guy. He's not doing well, and he was very, very friendly before. So I just agreed to pay for that one time. The rest will be in charity, like towards him, but we're just not going to do that again. Or if he does have bananas for sale, we'll just say like, look, it's 35. It's not the price that you're asking for. So in general, guys, I guess this is just a long-winded way of saying that these quote-unquote foreigner taxes can happen to anybody depending on where you're coming from or how you're arriving to a situation or a scene. Of course, somebody like that's an actual foreigner can also have that happen to them. And I believe it's the job of us, if we're going to stay here for a long time, to not isolate ourselves, to be open and out there and be conversational and to learn the prices of things. So that way we can minimize these experiences. Because I know a lot of people, and I'm just one of them included, but I know a lot of people who on principle become so irritated by this. I remember in Saudi Arabia, when we first arrived in 2012, I was riding with 2 other teachers in a taxi. And we knew the prices at that point. We learned the prices within like a week from how to get to like our house to the mall or our house to the city center, that type of thing. And I remember one of the teachers, he was older than me. I think he was like in his 40s at that time. So he was about like 14 years older than I was at that time. He knew that the taxi driver overcharged us by only 2 reals. That's not even, that's like 80 cents American, guys. So, but it wasn't the money that pissed him off. It was the principle. He's like, why are you charging me an extra 2 when you know it costs XYZ amount? And he's like, stop the vehicle. We're getting out of here. So he stopped the vehicle and we had to get out. We had to get out in Saudi Arabia in the, like in July. It was really, really hot and humid. This was in the eastern province, like in Dammam. So we had to deal with that because he didn't want to explode further. And it's just, I guess, the principle of it. Like, you don't try to do one over to scam someone on someone that is perceived to be new. This happened also to another teacher named Michael. I remember him. I'm sorry to mention him by name. But he was fluent in Arabic, and they tried to do the same thing. And he basically, like, it was the fee to get to the airport in a taxi. And he basically said the same thing as like, Habibi, I've been here, I've lived here for 2 years. I'm not new. He said that in Arabic to the guy, and they had a joke about it because the price was so inflated. And then he gave Michael the real price. So, anyways, guys, I think that these are one of the things that you have to be mindful of when you go traveling and when you decide to settle somewhere long term. Now, if you're a traveler and you're only going to be passing through, I think you do have to allow some kind of wiggle room for this foreigner tax thing. Like, don't let yourself get scammed completely and you end up paying like double or triple the price. That's ridiculous. But at the same time, you're not going to be there for long, so you kind of have to let some things go. You can't just be perpetually angry and pissed off all the time and suspicious that people are scamming you all the time. I think that that's also a sickness. So there's give and take, right? If I'm going to be in a place for a week in another country, let's say like in Vietnam or in Singapore or Malaysia, something like this, or Brunei, I'm not going to flip out if I have to pay a little bit extra for something. If it's a lot, I'm going to refuse it, obviously. But I'm not going to let those things get to me. But if I settle long term, yeah, you're damn right. I want to pay what the price is for the things that I'm buying. Like, I don't want to pay extra just because of like my ethnicity or because of my national origins, something like that, right? Anyways, y'all, that's my vlog for today. I'd like to hear what your experiences have been. And if you found a way to get around them, you know, like I haven't had to put up too much of a fight or an issue. I just know what the prices are for things, so I just give the money before it's even asked. And I don't know what your tactics have been. I tend to, if I know that there's kind of an attempted scam happening for something small, I kind of laugh about it and I'll say like, did you put gold in it? Is there like a little sprinkle of dust in there, gold dust in my coffee or in my bread? And I just tend to get them to laugh about it, to let them realize like, don't charge that. But in general, guys, I have to say, I think like the biggest scam, before I close, the biggest attempted scam those happen a lot like in Manila with the taxi drivers. And they are so annoying because you need a taxi, especially near the airport. Like if you have to go from one airport terminal to another and you've run out of time, you don't have time to take the bus or the shuttle, then they will just take you for a ride that will cost you a ton. They're shameless. I have nothing positive to say about those folks. I really wish, I hope that if the new mayor, Esco Moreno, like if he sees or hears of, I think everybody knows about this, but I hope that in his new administration, he does something to crack down on these people, because it really tarnishes the whole image of the country. And everybody knows that they're such scammers that they're going to like, you know, take advantage of everybody, Filipinos included, you know, who needs their services. So that said, Manila, like that's one of the reasons I don't like Manila. It's because I just feel like I get like scammed here and there and there. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, let me get out of this place, right? But in Zamboanga City, guys, final verdict is that I've been treated excellently here. I don't face this issue. It's so rare that it's a shock when it happens. It just happens once in a while and it reminds me of like vlogs I saw before. So overall, in Zamboanga City, alhamdulillah, thank God, like there's not really a big issue here for that at all. The big issue will happen in bigger cities, like a huge city like Manila. Anyways, guys, again, let me hear what you think, and I hope to hear from you soon. Please click the like button if you like this video. Send me a comment if you didn't like the video and let me know as well. And I'll see you for another one. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye.